Good afternoon from the St. Louis Park Rec Center, everybody. As we close out the tradition in the park this afternoon with 4 more games today, we'll start things off with Rosemount taking on Elk River. And for the first time this season, thrilled to be joined by Mr. Bart Archer. I'm Patrick Lilia, along with Executive Director Pete Wagner and Todd Grover on camera. We'll start with the Rosemount Irish. Played 2 very tough games this weekend. They took a tough loss to Andover, but rebounded a win over a tough Maple Grove team last night, Bart. So Rosemount, they're looking to close out the weekend in a big way.
Well, and they get a chance against, they get a chance against Elk River. But you're right, it was kind of a nail-biter last night against Maple Grove. Can you turn me down just a little bit, Patrick? I'm way too hot right now. But Rosemount had a tough contest against Maple Grove, and it was Lewandowski that scored a couple, including the game winner. So I think Rosemount played quite a good game, really, but Maple Grove had a good showing as well. But Elk River, you know, they're 3-9 coming into it, but they're better than a 3-9 team, and they've taken on really all comers. They've had a really tough go of it, playing solid competition, which is what you want. If you're Coach Ben Gustafson, you want to challenge yourself against the best in the state, find out where you are, and they're going to grow through this process. But there's been some growing pains, so to speak. They opened the tournament with a 6-0 loss to Lakeville South, and then dropped a close one to Holy Family yesterday. So they're looking for a good showing today. Just try to be competitive, try to keep it close, try to sneak a win out of this if they can, because obviously it was Rosemount that went through a bit of an emotional game yesterday. There might be a little bit of a letdown. I doubt it. Ricky Sainty is pretty good at getting his kids poised and ready, but it should be an entertaining contest. But stay off the roads, tune us up, and watch some high school hockey. It's going to be a good day.
Absolutely. The starting goaltender for Elk River this afternoon, once again, will be Josh Kozel, who started all the games thus far for Elk River. Look at the nod today. Had a good game yesterday despite the loss.
And Patrick, they pronounce it Kozel. Okay. Very stylish, but I made that mistake, so I just want to make sure that I took care of you as they took care of me. But he's an outstanding goaltender. He's going to show his skills today. Great side-to-side, great rebound control, very confident goaltender. He's called upon quite a bit.
Will Tollefson in goal again for the Irish today. He's had a spectacular season, 7-2 record, 2.15 goals against average.
Well, a lot of that has to do with the team in front of him, but he made some key saves, a very solid goaltender. He should be called upon a couple times today, but they have a lot of checks in the right boxes on this Rosemount team.
As the rest of the Irish are introduced, we're going to take a step out, come back with the drop of the puck. Elk River will take on Rosemount as we wrap up tradition in the park today, along with a host of other action here on MN Hockey TV to close out a wild week. We will be back with puck drop right after this. So welcome you back inside the St. Louis Park Rec Center, getting ready for Rosemount to take on Elk River this afternoon. Final thoughts before we get started, Bart?
Well, teams have a tendency, when you look at Luke Lewandowski, the junior forward, he has 19 goals in now, I believe, 11 games, so obviously a focused player, but once a team focuses a little bit too much on that particular player, other players can jump up and bite you, so they have a lot of different weapons on this Rosemount squad. So really it's about defensive zone integrity. They have to mind their positions, can't chase the play, just force everything to the outside. Allow a very good goaltender in Josh Kojal to see the puck. If he can see it, generally he can save it. But the challenge certainly is in front of Elk River today to stay with the high-flying Rosemount. Rosemount likes to establish a very torrid pace. It's just a question whether Elk River can keep up with it. If Elk River can slow them down, get a little possession, put some shots on net, that would bode very well for Ben Gustafson and this Elks team. But it's going to be a good exhibition of team hockey today when you watch this Rosemount team. They play as a group. They come up the ice as a group. They come back and defend as a group. So a lot of good things going on with the Irish hockey program.
Broden Sabo in the face-off circle against Michaelis as it's driven in deep by Mason Campbell. And we'll get a whistle almost immediately, just 7 seconds into the game. No score, Rosemount, Elk River. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, along with Bart Archer and Patrick Lilia. Face-off coming deep in the Elk River zone. It'll be to the left of Kojal. Face-off controlled by Elk River. It's banked off the backside boards, held in by Rosemount. There's a shot from the point, and Kojal able to find this one as he snags that drive there from Garrett Horsager. Will have another face-off in the Elk River zone.
Well, that's 2 shots on goal within 15 seconds, but they are from distance, so not a big deal. But Kojal at least getting a feel for the puck, making a couple saves. But as you said, that was Horsager that made that. But Rosemount does involve their defensemen, so it's something as far as spacing that Elk River's going to have to be aware of.
The Irish play it back off the boards. Here's Jake Ratzlaff with a shot. That got through to Kojal, who made another save. Sliding over with Mason Wheeler to hold the zone. He plays it up into the corner where it's played around by Joe Greniak over toward the near side. Was pinching up to try to slow the puck down was Ratzlaff, but it was able to be played back around toward the far side corner. And free in the circle, and Elk River gaining control for the first time. Here's Michaelis working his way into the offensive zone. He drops it off to Blaze Schuett, who sends one well in front of the net up toward the far side boards. And a big hit put on the far side boards against Marcus Friddle as it comes down toward the near side in the neutral zone. Dumped in deep by Lewandowski, as Elk River possessing it in their own zone, then whiffing on the clear attempt was Zach Stroh initially. He sends it over toward the near side where it's pushed into the neutral zone by Jake Kotzian. As the Irish pick it up deep in their own end, Horsager in his own end with it. He reverses direction, plays it back over to Campbell on the near side. Now gives it back to Horsager. It's Horsager backhanded into the neutral zone. It goes off the stick of Connor Kenefick. It works its way deep into the Elk River zone as they try to center it for Owen Hendrickson. Was tipped away just in front of the net as the Elks regain possession in their own end, but then taken away, and then there's a shot by Campbell that was saved by Kojal. Turnaround shot from the other point, also saved by Kojal. Already several shots on goal as it's loose in front as the Irish whack away at it. Puck is still free as it's played around the Elk River net. Back to the point, able to be held by Campbell. Long drive, that'll be wide of the glove of Kojal. It'll work its way up into the far side corner. Again, Wheeler with it, gets it back to Campbell. Campbell with a shot that'll go well wide of the net. Karam back toward the blue line and unable to be caught up to in time by Horsager. He's back out at neutral with it. It's Campbell up the right wing, back into the offensive zone as the puck is kicked around and played back out to neutral by Elk River as they get it ahead for Bjorn Franke. Franke will send a shot wide of the net up to the far side boards. It's slowed down by Joe Nordstrom. Nordstrom gets it back to the point for a blast. Was tipped wide as winding up was Jackson Skyberg. The Irish get it back out to neutral ice where it's flipped in deep by Ratzlaff. As Kojal will bank it off the end boards. The backhand feed ahead by, that's Justin Anderson that was almost intercepted out front by the Irish as the Elk River trying to maintain control of it at neutral as they're pushed back toward their own zone as we get a whistle with 14-18 to go in the period.
Well, it's going to be played with a high stick, so it's going to come all the way down into the Rosemount zone, but it was Rosemount that got in tight on Kojal. And a couple good looks, good opportunities, but Elk River did a good job of surviving. But the problem with it is once they get possession, they come out of the zone 1-on-4 because they're back defending, so they have to get their spacing a little bit better. But you can't harm a team for trying to defend against a team like the Irish.
The shot through traffic by Stroh was knocked down. Played back out to neutral by the Irish as trying to gain control, but having to go off his stick was Lewandowski. As Lewandowski will now battle in the Elk River zone with Greniak. Still loose in the corner as it's played back up through the slot where the Elks get it out to neutral ice, up to the stick of Schuett. Schuett trying to gain the offensive zone, but he had it knocked off by Wheeler, sent back out to neutral ice where Elk River back to pick it up. Cross-ice pass intercepted, carried in by Trevor Brum. Brum trying to drive around Michaelis. Centering feed for a shot saved by Kojal. As Elk River able to gain possession of the puck in their own zone. 13:37 to go here in the first period and no score. This one intercepted on the clear attempt again. It'll come free to Broughton Sabo. Sabo with a shot saved by Kojal. Played into the neutral zone where Michaelis has it. A 1-on-2 in front of him. Michaelis will slow it down on the near side as it's taken away by Sabo. Sabo now battling in the corner with Austin Humphrey. Played up into the far side corner along the end boards. Puck popping free in the circle, and then Humphrey losing control of the puck as he tried to go to the backhand. Loose up in the far side corner. Elk River still with control of it. Centering feed for Humphrey. He got a shot away on Tollefson. Puck is still loose. And played up into the far side corner as Stroh trying to gain control of it, but he can't. 2-on-1 back the other way. Here's Kenefick with it. Kenefick trying to feed it back as the net gets knocked off. Lewandowski waiting for it on the other side, but the net getting knocked off.
Well, pretty good job by the defenseman for this Elk River team, and I believe that was Greniak, but it was a nice 2-on-1 by the Irish. He forced him to the outside, kind of took the pass away, waited a little longer, but by then it was Lewandowski that got in a little deeper, ran into the post, knocked it off its moorings. But pretty good push by Austin Humphreys for Elk River, but nice transition by Rosemount to come out. Odd man rush. Got a pretty decent look at the goal, but again, I think Elk River's kind of starting to get a little bit more comfortable. But this Rosemount team can come at you in so many ways. But odd man rushes through the neutral zone is something Elk River's going to have to limit today.
As the Irish control the face-off, long shot will go wide of the net. Campbell over to try to recenter it, where it's kicked around. Backhand shot, Campbell is poked away by Kojal. It's carried around the net by the Irish. The hit put on up in the corner. A nice job there from Greniak as it's taken away by the Elks, and they get it out to neutral ice. As unable to get it under control with Scott Jusela as it's played back into the Rosemount zone. Stretch pass through neutral to get it ahead to Kenefick. Kenefick, though, has 1-on-3, and it's taken away by Elk River. Nice job to take that one away by Skyberg as Skyberg gets it back out to neutral ice. Where it's taken there and moved back up ice by Horzager. Horzager with a shot that's knocked down by Kojal, and he'll have to gather it in with the stick.
Well, Horzager, nice job entering the zone. Just cut to the middle, put a pretty good shot on Kojal, but high shot, governed it with his shoulder, held on to the rebound, allowing his coaches to get some new bodies out there. But shots on goal so far 6. Elk River 1. That's kind of indicative of how the play's been so far. But I like Elk River. They seem to be kind of, if they can get possession through the neutral zone. Again, they don't have the numbers going through, but they're pushing the puck deep and at least forcing Tollefson to get a little action, make a play. Going to be a tripping penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say Jake Ratzlaff took a shot so hard it broke his stick.
He's got some girth about him. He's got a little muscle, and he plays a very heavy game as well. But it's going to be Rosemount going to go to the box. So Elk River, not a intimidating power play. They certainly have the skills. They just haven't been able to finish a couple plays. But it's about 10-11%, so room for improvement. But they get a great chance right now to draw first blood. But for it's Weissmiller, Brady Weissmiller, the senior forward, that's in the box for Rosemount.
About the face-off, it's played up to the far side boards. It's still being fought for there. The Elks able to come out with it. Reversing direction is Michaelis as he gets it Humphrey in the circle.
4 forwards and 1 defense.
Back to Greniak. Greniak with a shot through traffic. Rebound popping free as it's kicked around, and we're going to get a whistle, likely a hand pass here. And a face-off coming back in the Rosemount zone with 11:35 to go in the period at 1:42 in the power play.
Well, pretty good opportunity for this Elk River team. They showed some poise and some patience, and just, you can't get too excited. You can't play hot potato with the puck. You just have to settle down, get it to the right guy, and get the shots on goal, and try to put some pressure on Tollefson to make some saves.
Face-off, push toward the end boards. Humphrey will poke it back up toward Greniak. Greniak with it on the Red Knight logo as he drops it back to Michaelis. Michaelis back to Greniak. Back to Michaelis for a one-time shot. That got through to Tollefson, who holds on.
Well, it's Michaelis back on the point with Greniak. Greniak, a nice offensive, talented defenseman back there, but they nice give and go, creating some space with Michaelis with a one-time shot, but it was an easy track by Tollefson, held on to a face-off to his right. 1:26 left in the penalty to Weissmiller.
Brady Johnston will take the face-off against Michaelis. It's controlled again by Greniak. Greniak to Humphrey in the circle as he rips one just wide of the net. Rebound back in the neutral zone. As Greniak back to pick it up. As Charlie Stramel chasing after him. Stramel getting Greniak tied up from behind as the Elks gain the offensive zone. Back to Michaelis at the point. Michaelis will slide it to Humphrey in the circle. As Horzager poking at it. As Greniak gets it down toward the near side circle where Casey will cycle it to the corner. It's taken back the other way by Stramel. Stramel trying to backhand feed. Oh, what a feed, and it's able to be found by Kogio, and he'll hold on again.
Well, nice play by Charlie Stramel. He's just a freshman, but showed some poise on that one. Did a little spinorama behind the back pass. Really put it right on the tape, too. A nice redirect. I think he juggled a little bit, but Kogio, nice side-to-side stop that short-handed threat, but face-off now in the Elk River zone. But this Rosemount team, they have offensive skills, so even though you're on the power play, you still have to mind your defense.
Back the other direction with an opportunity is Frankie. Frankie slows it down. He gets the centering feed out front, but it was just a little bit out of reach of Johnson, or he would have had a good shot opportunity on Tollefson. Elk River maintains the puck there, though, Bart.
A great idea. Might soften him up a little bit.
Back up at the far side point is Skyberg. He gets it to the circle. And Frankie will cycle it back, now take it back on the far side boards. He gets it back to Skyberg. Skyberg with a shot saved by Tollefson.
Well, Jackson Skyberg, just a sophomore back on the point for Elk River. We watched him through the holiday tournament. Very effective player, very smart player, makes the right plays, nice escapes, but put a good shot on goal. But Tollefson received that one. There was some Elk River Elks waiting in the wings for a second chance. He denied him.
Face up, trying to be played around by Horzager.
5 seconds left on Weissmiller's penalty.
Power play officially comes to an end. He's still loose in front. Is trying to poke at it. It was Marcus Friddle as it's played up into the far side corner. As Johnson trying to get it out of there. And now the Irish will take it back the other way. Here's Lewandowski into the offensive zone. He'll take a shot. That'll go over the net and into the netting.
Well, he's got a nice release. Obviously, when you have 19 goals in 11 games, you can shoot the puck. And he's just got a nice, quick release. Tried to go high just under the bar, but Kogel very good with his arms and legs. He can flare the pillows out, but he's got a very good glove hand as well. Just ramped it up and out of play. 9:37 left in a scoreless first period. Elk River hanging on. Now shots on goal. Rosemount 8, Elk River 4 with the benefit of that power play. Might give him a little confidence to carry the puck.
So face-off pushed back into the neutral zone. Campbell will dump it in deep to the Elk River zone. It'll work its way up into the far side corner. Getting the play tied up was Zach Stroh. Rosemount here, they come back the other direction, and then getting tied up where he can get a shot away with Zach Bidet. It's played back around the net up into the far side corner. There's Brady Johnson trying to force it out of there, and it's taken back by Elk River. Sent back out through neutral ice. As back to pick it up is Campbell. Campbell will get it off, but it's intercepted by Greniak. Greniak into the offensive zone with Joe Nordstrom as a shot that's held onto by Tollefson. He'll have another face-off in the Rosemount zone. 8:56 to go in the period.
Wow, Joe Greniak did it. Junior defenseman for Elk River did a nice job stepping up, intercepting that pass, and coming in, put a pretty good shot on Tollefson. He reached across his body. That was a nice high shot, but maybe a little lower. That way he could follow it up, perhaps a rebound. But as long as the defense can get involved in the offensive side for Elk River, that could be a good situation for Coach Gustafson.
Stramel trying to get it out of his own zone, which he did initially, and then it was briefly pushed back in, but the Irish able to now dump it deep into the Elk River zone. A long shot from the blue line had to be poked aside by Kogio. It's played over around the net, round toward the near side, where it's slowed down by Ratzlaff. Ratzlaff will play it back around toward the far side, able to be held initially by the Irish. Then the Elks get it back out to neutral with Skyberg with it now in his own zone. He plays it over toward the near side. Kotzian plays it through neutral, where it's sent back the other direction by Mason Wheeler. There's Stramel in the offensive zone with it. Stramel trying to go to the forehand. It was saved there by Kogio. There's Ratzlaff with a shot that'll go wide of the net off the glass.
Skyberg without a stick.
Skyberg, as he said, playing without a stick. The puck picked up by Michaelis, and then he took a hit on the end boards from Stramel. Played up toward the far side boards. There's Elk River trying to clear the zone, but can't do it. As Ratzlaff with it. Ratzlaff will send a shot over the top of the net off the glass. The rebound will carry him into the neutral zone. Wheeler back to pick it up as they catch Elk River on a line change. Wheeler with a wobbly shot. That'll go wide of the net. As Casey able to poke it back out toward neutral. If he did get it out to neutral, and Elk River will set up in their own zone. 7.5 minutes to go here in the first period. As here's Kotzian back into the offensive zone. He'll play a shot off the end boards. Humphrey on the far side trying to steer it back through the corner. Backhand feed intercepted by Elk River, able to be held in the Rosemount zone. It'll work its way back over toward the near side in the corner. As Ratzlaff plays it up the near side and sent out to neutral, where Casey will go back to pick it up for Elk River in his own end. Stretch pass out into the neutral zone. They get it to Humphrey. Humphrey into the offensive zone. His shot was blocked as Ratzlaff got in the way of that one. Ratzlaff plays it up through the far side corner as Campbell can't get it ahead of Casey, and the Elks play it back around the net toward the near side. It's a backhanded ahead and will be brought into the neutral zone by the Irish, and into the offensive zone. Here's Lewandowski. Lewandowski drops it off to the circle for a shot, as the Elks will send it the length of the ice and will bring it back into the Elk River zone with 6:36 to go in the period.
Well, Lewandowski did a nice job of actually cutting toward the area, and then he dished it off to Mason Campbell, a defenseman down, snuck into the play, put a pretty good shot on, but again, a little bit higher than he wanted to. I think he'd like a mulligan on that one, but Lewandowski just is very good and smooth with the puck, a lot of confidence, but getting his teammates involved obviously makes him a little bit more difficult to defend in the defensive zone.
As Stroh carries the face-off around his own net up toward the far side as Juzela gets it out through neutral ice. It'll go deep into the Irish zone. We're back to pick it up as Horzager on his own end board as he has to get it off to Campbell quickly. Campbell will send it cross ice into the neutral zone where it's played in deep by Jonah Forshier. As Kojiel out of his own net plays it up toward the far side, and Juzela gets it into the neutral zone but sent right back in by Olenschlager Van Kaller. Sean Olenschlager Van Kaller able to get that one deep into the zone and played back along the near side boards. We go under 6 minutes to play here in this first period, no score. This one pops up out of play with 5:53 to go.
Well, and again, this is a Rosemount team that averages 35, 40 shots a game. They're at 8 right now. We have 5:53 left in this first period. We're scoreless, so Elk River really doing a pretty good job of playing very responsibly. I mean, Rosemount's got in tight a couple times, but, Kojiel picked them up when they needed to, but they've been pretty efficient out of their zone in most cases, but a lot of back pressure from this Irish team makes it very difficult to manage that neutral zone.
As Elk River unable to clear, it's able to be held by Mason Wheeler. It'll work its way behind the net up into the far side corner. Grenick gets the play tied up for Elk River, but Rosemount just trying to push the puck along, and now it comes free. As it played down to the near side corner, it'll be picked up there by the Elks. They'll get it out to neutral ice. Here's Michaelis into the offensive zone, but Liebert disrupted him from behind. Liebert, and then they try to get it back to Michaelis on the back door, but it was out of his reach. It's able to be held there by Schuett. It's picked up by Rosemount. They'll flip it out toward neutral ice. A bank pass ahead for Kennefic. Kennefic going to the backhand, and he just couldn't get a hold of it as he tried to work his way in front of the goaltender Kojiel. It'll be sent back into the neutral zone by Campbell and eventually deep into the Elk River zone. We're going to go under 5 minutes to play. No score. Fast and furious action, though, Bart. Both teams trying to get the track meet going.
Well, indeed, and I don't know if that works to Elk River's advantage. They've been hanging in pretty well, but kind of a sloppy line change. People jumping on the ice, jumping off the ice for Elk River. They have to kind of mind that because the little details in this game could define success or failure, so to speak. But I like what Elk River's doing in their own zone. They're defending. Each and every player's defending. Sometimes their spacing gets a little point of concern, but this Rosemount team, they just can come at you in many different areas in waves as well. So the 4:46, going to be exciting finish to this first period.
As Friddle has the puck slapped down toward the near side, it's played in deep by Brady Weismiller down to the near side corner in the Elk River zone as Weismiller joins the fray in the corner. The Elks trying to play it back around their net toward the far side. Stroh sends it back in the direction of Humphrey. Humphrey trying to get it up the near side. Casey can't clear. There's a nice job there to strip him of the puck by Zach Bidet. As Elk River still stuck in their own end. 4:16 to go here in the first period. It's played back out toward neutral ice where Horzager will pick it up in his own end. He'll play it over toward the near side. He'll take it back now from Campbell. Stretch pass through the neutral zone, tipped in deep to the Elk River end. We passed the 13-minute mark in this first period as it's played around behind the Elk River net and then comes in on Kojiel, who holds on with 3:57 to go in the frame.
Well, it was just Rosemount getting the puck deep and then going after it. They had numbers, very responsible play by Bjorn Franke, number 8, the red, came back and kind of covered that area, so they matched bodies down there. Otherwise, it would have been an advantage for the Rosemount Irish. Just under 4 minutes. Obviously, Elk River wants to play very solid. Both teams want to play very solid to finish this period out very strong, but we're 0-0.
Skyberg will take the face-off win from Michaelis. He'll set up behind his own net as he has to get it off before he took a hit from Campbell. It's taken away by Lewandowski. Lewandowski getting it back toward Trevor Brum. Now back to the point. There's a shot that'll be going off a skate out front. Another shot through traffic. That was blocked as well. That was Ratzlaff who took that shot. It's carried up the left wing side by Schuett, but Schuett getting cut off by Ratzlaff in the Rosemount zone. It's played up toward the far side. Played back into the Elk River zone. Nice drop pass from Brum back to Sabo. Played back into the neutral zone, and then it's sent back toward the blue line. As Lewandowski gets it into the Elk River zone, where it's collected by Michaelis. Michaelis towards shot at the blue line. As Rosemount back with it in their own end. We hit the 14-minute mark of the first period, no score. There's Kenefick. Kenefick gets it to Strammel, gaining the offensive zone, but had to strip there as it's gained possession by Skyberg. Skyberg plays it over toward Grenick on the near side. There's a long centering feed that sneaks through everybody up toward the far side. There's a long shot from the point from just in front of the Elk River bench. That also goes wide. It's Horzager who took that long drive. 2:35 to go, first period, and definitely Bart, Elk River has hung tough with the Irish in this first period.
Indeed, they showed a lot of resolve and resiliency on this, but they're playing very responsible. Their spacing's getting better now that I said that. Ooh.
It was intercepted out front, but Strammel accidentally sent it into the neutral zone, trying to make a play with it as Horzager back to pick it up. There's Campbell with it now in his own end as he sends it over toward the near side. It's tipped in by Kenefick at the red line. Stroh back behind the net will send it over in the direction of Kotzian. Kotzian trying to play it ahead, but it was sent back the other direction by Kenefick. The Irish able to take it away. There's a long drive that'll go wide of the net by Mason Wheeler as it comes down to the near side corner. They'll be able to be held at the point. Ratzlaff with a shot. It's loose in front, and Kogio able to make the save. It's carried back out into the neutral zone by Elk River. 1:35 to go in the period as they get it deep into the Rosemount zone. Played back toward Mason Wheeler. Wheeler will try to stretch it out far side, but it was tipped away by Elk River. They get it to Caden Casey. Casey was trying to get it up toward Blake Johnson, but it was a little bit out of his reach. And back up the left wing side is Bidet. Bidet into the offensive zone with Stroh in front of him. Bidet trying to just force his way around Stroh, but he's knocking the net off.
Well, he's working his edges, and he was going against Jackson Skyberg, just a sophomore. But he held in pretty good, but way to work the edges to get to the goal. But it was Kozel that held on to that integrity on that post. So pretty good opportunity by Rosemount getting the puck to the net. 11 shots on goal for Rosemount now. 6 for Elk River. 1:13 left in this period.
Face-off played up into the far side corner. Elks play it around as it's too hot for Juzela. The play will be whistled dead once again with 1:06 to go in the frame.
Well, it was Elk River trying to send it around the horn, but it was Campbell that kept the puck in the zone, just redirected his shot, but it was a little misdirection, so Kozel did a nice job of adjusting, receiving that in his glove hand, and lived to fight another battle.
Skyberg picks up the puck. He'll play it up toward the far side as Johnson can't clear the zone. He's sent back deep into the Elk River end. Under a minute to go in the period as it comes over toward Campbell on the near side, but it'll get by him the length of the ice into the Rosemount zone. With Sabo back to pick it up. Sabo reversing direction. He plays it over toward the near side where it's intercepted by Elk River. Here's Michaelis with it. Michaelis with a shot and a save by Tollefson. Puck pops over the net, still live as the Irish break back the other way, 3-on-3. It sneaks its way over to the near side as it's brought in by Sabo. Sabo will play it down to the end boards with under 30 seconds. We get a whistle with the puck floating out of play.
Well, that was Skyberg. He just got put the puck out of play. He wanted to ring it around the glass just to relieve a little bit of pressure because it was the Rosemount that came in with some speed, but kind of a long shift for both teams, so a whistle's not a bad situation. 27 seconds offensive zone faceoff for the Irish. Very important faceoff for this Elk River team. They've done very, very well, but to give up any good scoring chances and give this team some energy going to the locker room would be not a great thing.
Off the faceoff, Ratzlaff brings it around to Wheeler. Well, back to the slot, Strammel with it. Strammel drops it down to Ratzlaff. Ratzlaff had it taken away by Humphrey. Ratzlaff will get a shot off on the loose puck.
Well, Humphrey's feeling that one too.
5 seconds now to go in the period as Lewandowski gets tied up on the end boards, and that'll take us to the end of a very exciting, compelling first period, Bart.
Well, Austin Humphrey looks like he's still very uncomfortable right now, favoring one leg. He blocked that shot. It must have caught him in a soft area. Hopefully he'll be back to join his teammates, but I was very impressed with the way Elk River went about their business. They were very calm. I thought that they would kind of lose their structure a little bit, start chasing the play, but they were pretty disciplined in their own zone, and it was Rosemount that really provided a lot of different angles to defend against. So I think both teams played pretty well, but I think, you know, a feather in the cap for Elk River. They can build on this and move forward. It's going to give them a little confidence going into the next period.
Absolutely. So as for Rosemount, I think they tried to play their game, and Elk River was just up for the challenge in that first period.
Well, the thing about Elk River is what they're finding out is this Rosemount Irish team it's a two-direction team. I mean, they don't just play one direction. They play the full 200 feet. So even if they get out of the zone, there is back pressure that is coming from the Irish, and they've had some success as far as turning the play back up in transition. So just something that Coach Gustafson and the Elks have to be kind of cognizant of moving forward. But definitely a confidence builder for Elk River. Were they perfect? No, but they survived and they played pretty well. 12 shots for Rosemount, so kind of on par with what they're normally doing. 7 shots on goal for Elk River, and a couple were pretty good. So both goaltenders rose to the occasion, but it looks looking forward to a good, solid second period, Patrick.
Absolutely. So here at the Tradition in the Park, after one period, no score between Rosemount and Elk River. We'll be back with more in about 10 minutes. You're watching the Tradition in the Park, presented by Tradition Companies here on MN Hockey TV.
It would break your heart to see what we pull out of here every day. We're out here 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, cleaning up the water.
Probably dump that.
You guys need some help?
Sure.
Yeah.
No way. JJ Watt. What's up, man?
How's it going?
I don't believe it. Good.
JJ,
Come on.
thank you, sir.
Welcome
Come on.
aboard, baby.
This net for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So what are you guys doing out here? What's the whole cleanup about?
Well, we're just doing the right thing. It's a kind of a thankless job. It's out of sight, out of mind. Somebody's got to do it.
What's the dream for the cleanup project?
You know, my dream is for people to think twice before they throw something out.
No problem, boys. I thought I was gonna have to come over there and show you how to do it.
That's not going to smell good.
Not pleasant.
Great play, baby.
What would you do without these guys?
I would be in trouble. I don't know what I would do. These guys are everything to me.
You ever catch anything?
Brackish waters up in here. I've caught castaneted shrimp.
You eat them?
No.
It's been a good day, fellas. I appreciate you guys having me out here. It's eye-opening to see all the trash and everything that you guys pick up.
For me, it's really not just a job. You know, it's a passion.
I appreciate you having me out.
You can swing a mean net, man.
Appreciate you helping us. It was a long, hot day.
You aren't kidding. It's hot.
Talk about it.
Yeah, the heat's a little different than it is on the field.
You know, it's pretty easy to be proud of the fact that we've been in continuous operation for almost 120 years. Now, obviously, Ennebec Construction started that, and they're a big part of it. You know, since then, in the 20 years that Tradition's been around, we've built on to that legacy, and you know, I think we've created our own legacy and our own brand, which is pretty special and unique.
We've kind of coined the phrase between all the Tradition companies and led by the bank's Keystone program. However much money we make, we give 10% of our earnings to the community and lots of time as well.
Our business model is centered around building communities, you know, whether that's, you know, providing the dirt work or building the houses or providing the financing. We're really, our success is really part of the overall community success. The fact that we live in the communities that our customers live in as well. We're side by side with them. And really our promise to our customers would be that we reinvest back into the communities and we help make the community stronger, where if you're doing business with, you know, out-of-state competitor, those dollars are going out of state, but we're putting them right back in the community.
I think that being in a sport, it has built into it the concept that we are going to face a challenge. When we do sport the right way, we are teaching values. We're teaching kids how to be hard workers. We're teaching kids how to be courageous, to be fearless. Dynamite's, because we have a focus on whole life youth development, physical, academic, social and spiritual excellence, we get that we're trying to develop people to be whole people. And I think that when you combine that mission with sport, I think you naturally get that. We have programs in each of those 4 areas. We have ice hockey for physical excellence. Academic excellence includes academic support like one-on-one tutoring. We have a summer academic camp. Social excellence includes our big community service project, Greg Carroll Learn to Skate, and also we're faith-based. So when kids are old enough, they have the choice to go to summer camp, kind of that traditional summer church camp. Every kid in the program has multiple mentors. If they're in tutoring, they have a very special mentor that's just their very own. And then of course the hockey coaches are mentors, and of course all the staff are mentors too. We have a very high retention rate. Dynamite's high school graduation rate over 20 years is 85%. And over the last 5 years, 96% have graduated, which is really significant because right now Minneapolis Public Schools is reporting that their graduation rate is 53%. So that, I think, is another measure that shows that Dynamite is working. Being a faith-based organization, I think we're able to say things that are really powerful sometimes. You might say to the kids, like, we're gonna do some hard things today. And we want you to remember, we can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. A few minutes later, we might be asking them to do that hard thing, and you got heads down and panting, and remind them, remember, you have strength. God's given you the strength to do this. You have the strength that you need inside you right now. They might even remember the moments where they began to believe that, where they began to believe, I should be fearless. Only believe, do not fear.
We welcome you back inside the St. Louis Park Rec Center. No score between Rosemount and Elk River. And Bart, this is kind of a big weekend where you really start to find out who's some of the truly best teams in the state with these big holiday tournaments. We've seen it this weekend, of course, at Rosemount, Andover, Maple Grove, all here. But we've seen, not just here, we'll see Minnetonka later, but teams like Minnetonka, Wayzata, Edina, who got off to not so great starts, who have rapidly turned the corner over the last couple of weeks.
Well, the beauty about high school hockey is generally a new addition every year, so sometimes it takes a little bit of a feeling out process. The coaches have a pretty good idea of what they have to work with, but the kids have to kind of assimilate and work with perhaps some fresh faces. You know, one of the benefits of carrying teams over is the continuity of it all. But you know, finding your way, once you get to the holidays, you have a pretty good sense of where your team is and what you need to work on. But tournaments like these, back to back against good competitions, really not only answer some questions, but it might raise some other questions that wouldn't have been raised if they weren't in this format. So these are really good tournaments. A holiday tournament, this tradition of the park and tradition to pick, too. I mean, coaches are finding out a lot about their players, but not only that, but the players are finding a lot about themselves and their teammates as well.
Was that a 7-0-1 in their last 8 after an 0-3 start? So the Trojans definitely asserting themselves that they will be in it for the long haul.
And Patrick, it seems like we always talk about how we're surprised that Wayzata, comes out and has success when they've done it every year, year after year after year. And I think Coach O'Leary does a great job. They have a great program. They're always committed to defense. They always have a solid goaltender, and their forwards can skate. So I'm not saying that you were surprised, but it is a surprise that they've been this effective. But, if you've watched this Wayzata program, it doesn't come as a huge surprise that they're having success.
Well, one score update from early on. Eden Prairie trailing Moorhead 2-0 after one period at the Hockey for Life Classic in Prior Lake.
How about that?
Eden Prairie 8-0-1 coming in, certainly a heavy favorite. Moorhead, a team that, always been good, but not a lot of people really give them the respect, even though they were a quarterfinalist last year.
Well, in fact, but Moorhead's always been able to skate. They've always been a great skating team, and they're playing some of their best hockey right now. They're taking down some pretty big teams and being effective. So Eden Prairie's got certainly their hands full, but Eden Prairie kind of going into a little bit of a goal-scoring drought. But I think people are giving them their best game. So this is good for Eden Prairie to go through this duress during this time of year so they know how to handle it. One thing about anxiety is if you kind of shy away from anxiety, you don't deal with it properly. But if you welcome anxiety, deal with it, get confidence in how you deal with it, then you look forward to it. That's when you know you've arrived. And I think Eden Prairie's just going through some challenges right now, but it's going to make them a better team moving forward.
Absolutely. So, of course, after this tournament, we'll kind of go back to some of our regular scheduling. We'll have bunch of coverage of those teams that we've just talked about. We'll see Wayzata several times over the next few weeks, as well as, of course, our normal home coverage of Eden Prairie Dinah and Benilde St. Margaret. So we'll see those in Minnetonka. We'll see those teams plenty over the next several weeks leading into the section tournaments.
Well, and think about, look at what Minnetonka did last night. Really, to be honest with you, Minnetonka's been struggling a little bit, 3-5 coming into the game, so everybody's saying, no, Minnetonka's down. Well, again, they're finding their identity, but they played a really solid game last night, snuck out with a win against a very, very good team, so that's going to make Minnetonka better. Benilde a better showing, so the teams that we're covering are actually getting better as this year goes on. It's going to make an exciting finish in a race to the XL Energy Center.
Minnetonka also taking Maple Grove to overtime on Friday, so as we turn our attention back to what we have on the ice here, very good showing from Elk River in that first period. They withstood all of the initial punches from the Rosemount Irish, and that didn't really generate a whole lot of good scoring opportunities. Maybe had a one or two, we'll call them B-grade chances, but as Elk River, you feel good about yourself, 0-0 after that first period.
Absolutely. Defense by committee is what they were doing, and they have to do it that way, but the forwards have to come back and support and really defense have to block out and really contest these very talented Irish forwards. It wasn't beautiful to watch. It wasn't pleasing on the eye, but it was very effective out on the ice. But it's nice to see Austin Humphrey back on the ice. He took that shot in a kind of a tender area before the period ended. He looked like he was in a lot of discomfort, but he's back, and they certainly need him. And he actually has been playing with Michaelis as his center throughout the course of the year so far, at least the games that I've watched. And now he's been put back on freshman Caden Casey's line, who can really play too. He's number 14 in the red, and then they flank him generally with Blake Johnson. So a pretty nice offensive line that are minding their defensive responsibilities. Elk River's success today is going to really generate from the defensive zone out. They have to mind their defensive zone, and offensive opportunities are going to come. But that back pressure from this Irish team on the back check is something that Elk River's going to have to manage a little better than they did last period.
Now for Rosemount, how do you come out in the second period? You had a number of better scoring opportunities than Elk River, but haven't been able to get one past Kogio yet. Is Rosemount going to come out looking to do anything differently, do you think, in this period to try to get that stalemate broken?
If they were single digits in shots, maybe 6, 7, or 8 shots, maybe. But they got their opportunities, they got their looks. It's when those dry up is when you have to really address and maybe revamp. But just play Irish hockey and keep putting the puck to the net and put pressure on, getting shots on goal. I look for that to happen this period. But for Elk River, defensive pairings, get off the ice early, better early than late. Hard to defend against this Irish team with tired legs.
Second period starts with Lewandowski able to get it deep into the Elk River zone as Greniak has it poked away by Lewandowski as it's played over toward the near side as Johnson gets it into the neutral zone for Elk River, and then it's ricocheted back into the Elk River zone. And able to be held by Sabo. Sabo still with the puck as he's able to poke it away from Skyberg. Sabo takes a hit from Skyberg, leaves the puck behind him for Trevor Brum. Brum gets it back to the point for a shot that'll go well wide by Horzager. As Horzager winds up, and a stick getting lost in the process. That was Johnson who lost his stick. Was able to be held in and then pushed toward the net, and just out front it was out of reach of Sabo. As the Irish will play it back around, Sabo can't slow this one down. Skyberg will get to it in the corner as Michaelis collides with his own man, and that separates him from the puck. Horzager thought about winding up, tried to get it a pass away, but it's taken away by Johnson. Johnson into the offensive zone, tries to go to the backhand and just pushed it wide. That was initially a great play by Horzager, but Johnson just kept driving him further and further back toward the net as we get a whistle with 15:43 to go in the period.
Well, and the goaltender for Rosemount, Will Tollefson, did a nice job, kind of a vulnerable area. And it was Johnson that tried to go far side and just sneak it in along the ice, but nice job by Tollefson to keep that out. But you're right, it was Horzager that was battling with Johnson, but Johnson with the speed used his body to protect the puck. It's just a good effort to get a shot directed toward the goal.
The shot just poked wide by Marcus Friddle as it's played up toward the far side. Backhanded the other direction by Ratzlaff around toward the other side of the net as Wheeler sends it back in the direction of Ratzlaff. Ratzlaff sends it cross ice for Wheeler. Wheeler will send it now back toward the other side. He's poked ahead toward the blue line. 3-on-2 if they hurry, but a great job by Humphrey to catch up to that play. There's a shot, rebound, they score! Owen Hendrickson catching up to the rebound. It's 1-0 Rosemount in the second period.
Well, Rosemount just came down with numbers, and it really got to the open person, but everything flowed to the right side. They put a shot on goal, and it was Kolja that made the save, but the rebound kicked out to the left side, and standing all alone was Owen Hendrickson, the sophomore forward, scoring his, I believe, third goal of the season, but it's the Irish that draw first blood, 15-16. We're early in the second period. Up to Elk River to kind of maintain their confidence and maintain their composure a little bit, not change their game, but just get back to quick, efficient zone entries.
Coming at 1:46 of this second period as it's flipped in deep by Horzager. Skyberg behind the net will flip it up past Strammel. Strammel and Ratzlaff getting the assist on the Hendrickson goal. Coming at 1:46 of this second period, that puts Rosemount up 1-0 as it's poked back into the neutral zone. And we'll get an offside whistle here with 14:50 to go in the period.
Well, I guess what I'm looking for is body language and see if Elk River's going to stagger their game a little bit. Obviously, it was the Irish that came out with some pretty good energy right away in the second period. Now they punched one in. But it's up to Elk River to just get themselves grounded, get themselves comfortable, and I meant to say nice, efficient zone exits, not entries. Once they can get out of their zone with efficiency, maybe they can possess the puck with some possession through the neutral.
Michaelis up the right wing. A nice screen was set by Greniak. Michaelis going toward the forehand. Elk River able to come with the puck. Rebound is still loose and now covered up by Tollefson.
Well, Michaelis is really one of those players that Elk River looks for to push the pace forward and get into the offensive zone. Did a nice job of working his edges, really put some pressure on Tollefson, and I'm surprised he had that avenue, but he's a pretty strong on his skates. Very heavy player down low, but a nice job by Tollefson to keep that puck out of the net. A little extracurricular after the whistle, so a little intensity here in this early afternoon extravaganza. Thank you for joining us, everybody that took the time to watch a little high school hockey on a Saturday. Better to stay inside and watch some high school hockey than try to manage those roads out there.
Really, we're so grateful you're with us as Michael is battling up in the far side corner. It's taken away by Sabo. Sabo gets it cross ice toward Lewandowski, but it bounces away from him. There's Greniak back with it. Greniak trying to get it ahead for Johnson. Michaelis will have it through neutral ice. Here is Michaelis into the offensive zone. Michaelis rips a shot just wide of the goaltender Tollefson as it comes down toward the near side boards. And Michaelis has had a really strong second period thus far, just a few minutes in, Bart.
Well, that's what leaders do. They lead by example, and the puck seems to like him this period. He's doing some good things. Got to get those shots on goal, though.
Skyberg picks it up. Skyberg carries it in, but he had 3 yellow jerseys in front of him. But a good job anyway by Schutt to push it into the offensive zone regardless, as Rosemount trying to set up exit will send it out for Lewandowski on the near side. Lewandowski into the offensive zone as he's trying to work his way around Kotzian. He'll get around the net and back toward the slot, but it pushed back out to neutral. We're back to pick it up as Wheeler. Wheeler on the near side will flip this one ahead toward the blue line where it's almost knocked down by Sabo, but it's played by Elk River from deep in their own end. They play it over toward Friddle on the near side. Friddle will send it in for icing with 13-14 to go in the opening second period,
Well, not a super great up and down flow so far, but again, teams are battling. But the neutral zone is being contended. Elk River getting some possession, and it really comes down to Michaelis with that puck. But you work so hard to get the opportunity to get those shots on goal. Face-off now to Kojel's right, 13-14 left in second period.
Face-off controlled turnaround shot attempt was blocked. It was Kennefick who almost got that one away as it's played up. Centering feed in toward Kojel. It's played around the net. The Irish send it across ice. Nice pass. There's a shot saved by Kojel from the circle. They score! That one just dribbled in past Kojel on the second attempt. It's 2-0 Rosemount.
Well, it's Charlie Stramble that actually made the initial pass. Threaded that one through traffic to the far side. They put it back on Kojel. He made the initial save, but couldn't cover the puck and didn't have enough support back there, so it was just a putback. It might have gone off Kojel's pad and into the net, but now it's 2-0. This is where it gets a little bit concerning for Elk River. Scoring, one goal being down by one is a whole different story than being down by two. Now the challenge is twice as steep as it was before, but just get back to the dots and keep playing your game. But got to find a way to get some offensive zone time, but this Rosemount Irish team seems to be building confidence as it goes.
I'll give Kennefick credit for the goal. Owen Hendrickson getting credit for an assist, and Charlie Strammel the secondary assist.
Strammel really made that play actually happen, but a nice dish by Hendrickson to get it back to Kennefick. Kennefick's a name that we've said a lot this weekend. He's had a good showing. He's got some quickness to his game, that's for sure, and he finished one out. 2-0, 12:24 left in the second.
Blake Johnson had a great opportunity out front just a moment ago, but wasn't able to get the puck on his stick for a shot, as Elk River will have to play it from deep in their own end after Rosemount clears. As Greniak with speed into the offensive zone. Greniak driving toward the net. He tries to go to the backhand. Rebound is loose off the save by Tollefson. Elk River able to maintain possession. Another save by Tollefson, and he's able to dive on this one.
Well, you have to like what Joe Greniak did. He went coast to coast on that one, used his edges, got out front, and really challenged Tollefson on that one, but didn't have any support with him. So it was basically a 1-on-2, 1-on-3, but he managed his way to the net area, which is what you want to do. But if there was somebody waiting in the wings, perhaps they might have had a nice follow-up opportunity, but Tollefson did his job, face-off to his left.
Face-off controlled by Rosemount. They'll play it around their net. Now send back over toward the near side, where it's Forshear trying to get it ahead. And unable to be held by Elk River. We're going to get a penalty coming here against Elk River.
That's a tough one.
Tollefson will head to the bench for an extra attacker. A shot over the top of the net by Ratzlaff. The play still live and pushed up into the corner, where it will be touched up by the Elks. And we'll have our first power play for the Irish in the game.
Well, you have to feel bad for Scotty Gisela on that one. He just he couldn't get back up on his blades and just reached out. The player skated over, so kind of an unfortunate penalty for the young man. He's trying to make it a play. But now Elk River's got the huge challenge in front of him. And this Rosemount power play is around the 20% mark, and with all this skill, I see my perceptions, that's a pretty low number, looking to build on that right now. But Elk River has a challenge to kill off this penalty, pick up their teammate.
Rosemount able to control the puck off the face-off to get it back to the point, and I'll play it along the far side boards as Horzager plays it along. Now he takes it back. Horzager gets it back to Campbell. Sends it back over to Horzager. We'll send a pass behind him along for Sabo. Sabo trying to center it, but it's intercepted by Elk River. As Horzager still with it, he gets it back to Campbell, who gets it past Greniak. Campbell back with it, getting it back toward Horzager. Horzager sends it over toward the near side, now taking it back as he kind of dances around that blue line. Cross-ice pass, trying to quickly get it back to Campbell, but the pass a little bit off target. There's a shot that'll go wide of the net by Horzager as it comes over toward by Campbell, as Horzager back to pick it up in the neutral zone. It's intercepted by Greniak. Greniak will play it in deep to the Rosemount zone. As Ratzlaff on the near side will work it from deep in his own end. 59 seconds in the power play. 10.5 minutes to go in the period as Ratzlaff into the offensive zone rips a shot over the top of the net. Ratzlaff able to play his own rebound back behind the net for Hendrickson. Hendrickson will now try to chase the puck up into the corner as Elk River able to clear, as Kennefick unable to hold the zone. Forshear back to pick it up deep in his own end. Still set up deep in his own zone. Oh, up ice, here's Lewandowski with some speed into the offensive zone. Lewandowski trying to center it, but that was out of the reach of Kenefick. And Elk River able to get it back out to neutral ice. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Wheeler in front there. There's a shot that's saved by Tollefson and held on to.
Well, it was kind of between Humphreys and Casey. It was kind of like, yeah, I got it, you take it. But it was Humphrey that took it up the left side, left-handed shot. Got a little bit shallow in the angle, tried to go far side, glove side. But again, Tollefson, nice save. Shots on goal, 17 for Rosemount, 10 for Elk River. 17 seconds left on the penalty to Scott Jusilla for Elk River. Pretty good kill so far. Played very responsible, even in offensive zone faceoff.
So faceoff coming deep in the Rosemount zone, as you said, Bart. 17-10 shots on goal in favor of the Irish. We'll have a short delay so the teams can get the personnel that they want on the ice as Lewandowski comes on. The Irish control the face-off. They'll set up behind their own net. Here's Liebert with it. He'll drop it back behind the net. That one goes off the skate of Brum back into the Rosemount zone. 5 seconds in the power play. As Campbell gets knocked off the puck as he's able to get it deep into the Elk River zone. Elk River back at full strength.
It's a good kill.
Big penalty kill there, Bart. Really couldn't afford to give up another goal at this stage of the game.
And I don't think Kojo really got called upon during that, so a very responsible penalty kill, but still stay out of the box.
Here's Justin Anderson back the other way. He gets it off to Joe Nordstrom. Nordstrom getting fended off, though, by Horzager. He'll have to try to dump it behind the net. We're going to get another whistle.
Well, Horzager played that about as well as you can. Nice stick check. You have to be cognizant of the stick zone. Horzager's got a pretty solid stick zone, but now it's going to be Lewandowski that's going to go in the box. It looks like it's going to be a slash, so really a nice opportunity for this Elk River to get some offensive zone time. Puck possession, work the puck, and perhaps put some pressure on Will Tollefson, goaltender for the Irish.
And really, if there's one thing that Elk River's really kind of struggled with all weekend, it's been the offensive zone time. As Greniak able to hold the zone. Greniak will work his way up the blue line, and we get it over to Michaelis. Michaelis gets it down to the circle. Humphrey with a shot saved by Tollefson. It was a fairly clean shot, not a lot of traffic in front of Tollefson there.
Well, Blaze Shutt was waiting in the wings. He was being cross-checked, pleading for a penalty perhaps, but you know, they do have the man in front of the net. Humphreys had a pretty good look from high in the slot, put a pretty good shot on glove side, but a good save by Tollefson. Pretty easy save, though.
Face off to the left of Tollefson. Greniak able to hold the face-off win. Slides it back to Humphrey. Humphrey able to get it off the Karam in the corner. Back to Michaelis as Michaelis getting fended off in the corner from Kenefick. They'll get it back to Humphrey in the circle. Humphrey trying to drive through, slide it in underneath, and just missing, trying to get that one under to Caden Casey. Elk River able to maintain the puck possession. Humphrey with a save from the pad on the shot as it comes free in the slot. Here's Casey with it. Casey gets it back to Humphrey, and his shot went off a skate. As Humphrey trying to knock it down with the glove, Greniak not able to hold, and that's an offside.
Yeah, he couldn't dance the line, but it was Mason Wheeler that blocked that shot from Humphrey. Caught him in the foot, and he looks like he's going to be okay, but kind of a trying moment for that young man getting in front of that shot. But Humphrey with a couple pretty good opportunities. Nice job by Casey to keep the puck in the zone. Greniak, so they're doing a lot of good things, keeping the puck in the zone and putting pressure, forcing the goaltender to make a save. That's what you want in the power play. One of these is going to punch in perhaps one of these times, but they're getting chances. That's the important part.
The Irish able to send it all the way into the Elk River zone with 53 seconds to go in the power play, 8 minutes to go in the period. As the Elks will set up, they'll work their way through neutral ice. Here's Humphrey back into the offensive zone. Humphrey on the near side boards, dancing with it, and it's taken away and carried back the other way by Sabo. Sabo will send it all the way into the Elk River zone as it bounces in on Kojiel, who has to hold on to it.
Well, that's pretty heady play by Broughton Sabo on that one. Just you want it to kind of chip or at least bounce right before the goaltender, but it was Kojiel made himself big and took no chances on that one. But now an offensive zone faceoff being shorthanded by the Irish. Elks are going to have to play particularly sound defense on this situation.
As Elk River and Michaelis able to, Frankie able to control. Frankie will get it in deep to the Rosemount zone. Tollefson out of his net to slow it down. Gets it to Horzager, who tries to clear and will get by Skyberg, the length of the ice. Back into the Elk River zone. Back to pick it up is Kotzian, who has Kenefick with him, but he's able to get it out to neutral ice for Kotzian. Kotzian into the offensive zone. Gutzian with a shot right into the midsection of Tollefson, who holds on with 7:14 to go, 6 seconds in the power play.
Well, at least they have an offensive zone face-off. Got a shot on goal, forced the goaltender to make a save, and it was Fertel that was actually waiting in the wings. So nice job by Tollefson to hang on to that. Pretty easy shot, but again, another shot on goal. Now the shot count is risen to 13 for Elk River with the benefit of this power play, but this has got to give them a little confidence with the puck in the offensive zone. So they're going to get some energy out of this, even if they don't score. Now we're back to 5-on-5, Patrick.
Well, sneaks through. Sabo collides with Kotzian at the blue line, but it's able to be gotten ahead to Lewandowski. Lewandowski driving in. Lewandowski, though, had his pocket picked by Kotzian. Turnaround shot was deflected out front by Brum and slides in slowly on Kojil, who holds on.
Well, the junior defenseman Kotzian did a nice job of using his stick to stop Lewandowski. Not many people can interrupt his stride, but too many people focus on the wrong things, and he gets by in a hurry. But nice stick work. Got into the 6 zone, he made it count. Good defensive play by Elk River.
Michael was able to win the face-off for Elk River. Skyberg plays it around. Lewandowski almost intercepted that one, and he would have had a run out front as Elk River 4-on-4 into the offensive zone. There's a shot sent wide by Greniak as the Elks trying to gain control of it on the end boards. They'll fight their way down to the near side corner. The Irish now looking like they have the upper hand in gaining possession, which they do. Cross-ice pass for Ratzlaff. Ratzlaff up the right wing side into the offensive zone. He tries to center it, but it's intercepted by Skyberg as he was trying to get it to Lewandowski. It'll be played back up toward Greniak on the far side. Greniak into the neutral zone. It's tipped away, but will come to Michaelis. Michaelis working his way through the slot. Gets it off for a shot that's blocked out front as he slid that one in through up to Shutt. 3-on-2 for Rosemount the other way, back into the offensive zone, and a great job by Elk River to disrupt that as Sabo tried to center it, but it's kicked around and controlled by the Elks. With Michaelis back into the offensive zone, and Michaelis into the midsection of Tollefson, and we'll have a face-off in the Rosemount zone.
Well, as they matched up quite well as far as the Irish in numbers, but it was Johnson and Michaelis coming in, but they matched him, so Michaelis opted to take that shot. Another shot right into the Irish crest of the goaltender. Have to be a little bit more diligent as far as maybe picking better spots and making the goaltender make plays, but they're making them relatively easy. But they're getting shots. That's the important part, is they're getting possession through the neutral zone and getting some shots in the offensive zone if they can build on that. But they just have to get in a little tighter, pick their corners a little better.
Horzager are able to play it to the far side boards, but the Irish unable to clear as the Elks play it down into the near side corner. Humphrey able to hold the zone initially, where it's taken away by Strammel. Strammel will send it to the far side circle, and it's sent all the way through, and that will be an icing. We'll bring it back into the Rosemount zone.
Just a bit of a misfire by the Irish. Irish haven't really done too terribly much in the last 5 minutes, and that's a credit to Elk River in their possession. They're coming back and supporting on defense. They're getting numbers, and they're getting the pucks to the open players, so they are getting some speed through the neutral zone, something to build on for this Elk River team moving forward.
That's Ratzlaff plays it around toward the near side. It's sent into the neutral zone by Hendrickson. Into the offensive zone come the Irish as they sneak this one through, and just missing on Strammel. That bouncing puck might have disrupted that just enough to prevent Strammel from getting a good shot at point blank.
Well, indeed, it was a nice job by Kennebec to chip it up to Strammel. Nice anticipation by the forward. Just put it into an area and let his forward skate into it, a little redirect, but Kojil, good anticipation by the goaltender as well. Held onto that puck. 5:19 left in the second period. Rosemount up by 2.
Again, able to be controlled. A shot that was blocked right off the shot from Wheeler. He played behind the net, now working their way in front on the wraparound. Puck is still loose, and Elk River eventually able to come out with it up the right wing side as Greniak can't quite clear. Up in the far side corner to gather it in is Stroh. The Irish will pick it up behind the net. Olenschlager von Koller sent it around toward the near side. Carried along by Greniak. Greniak having to retreat into his own zone as Forshear almost swatted that puck away from him from behind. They get it over toward Frankie. Frankie, again, a sloppy zone exit for Elk River here. They are finally able to get it out to neutral ice.
But they maintain possession. That's the important part of it. It's not always going to be pretty, but as long as they can keep the pucks off those talented Rosemount forwards, they're in pretty good shape.
Skyberg tried to get it over toward the near side and Anderson, but couldn't, and it's taken away by Rosemount. Here's Wheeler with it. Wheeler with a shot through traffic and able to be snagged cleanly by Kojo, and a face-off coming in the Elk River zone. 4:18 to go in the period.
Well, that was a pretty good shot by Wheeler. I think he got a little more elevation than he wanted, but Kojo, nice job of tracking that puck through traffic. Just 4:18 left in this period, but now it seems like Rosemount is starting to kind of get their wits about them. So it's up to Elk River to finish this last 4:18 very strong, very intelligently. Just keep doing what they're doing. Just do it just a little bit better.
It's Orzager trying to play it along the near side boards, and Elk River initially disrupted that. Brum comes out with it. Brum drops it back behind the goal line, back to the far side circle shot. That's tipped away. Another shot from the circle was saved by Kojo. And then another one at point blank on the rebound from Hendrickson is held on to by Kojo with 4:01 to go.
Well, that's what good goaltenders do. If their team struggles a little bit, which Elk River is right now, they're bottled up in their own zone. They make the saves, let them kind of catch their breath, and try to win a faceoff. But good zone possession by Rosemount at this point.
Oh, what a nice move, Lewandowski. Lewandowski with a shot that's still loose in front. I don't know what that went off. Did that go off the inside of the pipe and come back out?
It did hit the pipe, but it was Kojo that actually, I think, made the initial save, and then it deflected off the pipe and back out, and then things got a little squirrely for this Elks team. But again, they survived. It's 2-0, so they're good, two good shots away. But the Irish, the way they're playing defense, they're not really allowing those quality looks that Elk River would like. But a lot of zone time now for Irish in the last minute and a half.
Face off, Sabo battling for it, still loose in the circle. And Humphrey able to come out with it for Elk River as he gets it over to Casey. Casey will carry it into the offensive zone. Casey trying to center it for Friddle. The rebound is still loose and able to be poked away back through the neutral zone by the Irish. And it will go for icing with 3:31 to go in the period.
Well, that was a really nice sequence by Elk River. Got out of the zone with some speed and had some numbers down low, directed the puck toward Tollefson. A bit of an Owly moment just because they had numbers down low and the puck was loose, but Irish survived that battle. 3:30 left in the second period. Shots on goal, 24 for Rosemount, 15 for Elk River.
With Wheeler trying to get control of the faceoff, he can't, and Humphrey's shot is saved up into the netting by Tollefson.
That's one of the players that they want in that scoring area, and that's Austin Humphrey. I think he's got 5-6 goals on the year so far. Trying to go short side on that, just under the bar, but ramped up and off the goaltender out of play. They're going to bring it outside the zone, so apparently the goaltender didn't touch it. He just got a little bit too much under it. But again, if you can walk in and get a good shot, that's exactly what Elk River wants.
Neutral zone face-off, 3:25 to go here in the second period. Along with Bart Archer, executive producer Pete Wagner, and camera Todd Groover.
Executive socializer Pete Wagner.
And Patrick Lilia, happy to be with you. Hopefully you're safe at home enjoying us on TV, or not on TV, or whatever device you're watching on.
Somewhere on TV.
It could put us on your TV, and there are ways to do that.
Many people have.
I'm not sure they liked what they heard. I'm just kidding. Oh, and Elk River will set up from deep in their own end.
I'm tired of my voice. I'll guarantee you that one.
Put Pete back on the air.
No, you're doing fine. It's kind of refreshing to be able to talk every once in a while.
Ooh.
That's a joke. I'm just kidding.
It was played along the near side boards in the Rosemount zone. Back out at neutral ice. Then back into the Elk River zone. Skyberg back to pick it up. Strammel trying to make a play on him as it will come over toward Johnson on the near side. They get it ahead for Michaelis. Michaelis, though, can't get between Weismiller and Wheeler. And the puck separated at the blue line. As Greniak initially able to hold, whiffed on the shot as he drops it back in the direction of Schutt. Michaelis, though, back to pick up the loose puck. Michaelis sends a stretch pass out toward the far side and then poked into the neutral zone by Weismiller. Elk River plays it back through the neutral zone. 2 minutes to go here in the period. 2-0 Rosemount leading it. 24-15 shots on goal in favor of the Irish. Stretch pass through the neutral zone. It's controlled now in the Rosemount end. A stretch pass out to the red line by Wheeler that went off the stick of Hendrickson as Hendrickson plays it down toward the near side. Wheeler, as Johnson trying to take it away from him. It'll drive Ratzlaff all the way back in. Johnson just all over this play trying to take that puck away as it's sent back out to neutral ice. It's carried in by Ratzlaff. Ratzlaff in the circle with it, where it's swatted away from him by Kotzian. Played down to the near side corner, but the Elks able to come up with it. This will be flipped in deep over the top of the net by Caden Grassel down to the near side corner. Here's Horzager behind the net with it as Grassel and another Elk trying to get the play tied up. Then over toward the near side. Hendrickson into the offensive zone once again, working around Greniak. Excuse me. There's a shot. They score! It was Sabo on the centering feed. I was kind of looking at my roster and just saw the puck.
Well, it was Kennefic that actually finished that one, and it was just the Elk River forwards got caught a little deep, and it was Rosemount that came through the neutral zone 3-on-2, and there was some space, a little soft to the blue line by Elk River, but they didn't have the numbers. But it was just a good shot, glove side, just kissed off the bar and in. So it's 3-0 now, just a minute to go. Boy, those goals, giving up those goals with the final 2 minutes of a period are kind of tough ones to handle. It'll be interesting to see how Elk River will respond. They've given up 3 goals, but they've actually played a pretty good period. But Rosemount just knows how to finish. But Kennefic's second goal of the game.
Stretch pass toward Lewandowski. Lewandowski into the offensive zone. Lewandowski and a great save at point blank by Kojil.
Well, and that's what good goalies do, but Lewandowski coming in all alone, tried to go 5-hole, but Kojil very calm in goal, very non-busy, so he just closed that gap, face off to his right. 50.9 left in this period.
Sabo wins the face-off. Horzager controls. Horzager trying to send it far side, but it was intercepted by Humphrey, sent out to neutral ice, where it's taken back by Horzager in his own zone. Being played ahead, but then taken away by Casey. Casey with a shot down low, with her trying to get it down toward Humphrey. 30 seconds to go now in the period. It's Greniak with it. Greniak, he'll get a shot off wide of the net. Rebound unable to be caught up to by Friddle. It's played behind the net, back over toward the near side. As Horzager can't get it around Humphrey, and then a centering feed sneak through the blue. Skyberg winds up for a blast. Didn't really get much on it. He'll get another shot. That one will go wide of the net. 8 seconds to go in the period. Here's Brum with it. Brum trying to get it to Lewandowski, but it was a little behind him. There's Lewandowski losing the puck as he crosses the blue line, and the period comes to an end. Elk River kind of faltering a little bit there in that second period, Bart, but really just the talent and depth of Rosemount was what enabled them to that 3-0 lead after 2 periods.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but they didn't play terrible. They really didn't. In fact, after that third goal was scored, they came down and put some good pressure on this Irish team, so showing a little bit of resolve, but right. On the score sheet, they didn't have a great period, but on the ice, I thought they were pretty effective. They did a lot of really good things, but this Irish team, they can finish plays, and that's kind of the challenge against Elk River. They don't have those big goal scorers like the Lewandowskis, and today Kennefic's got the hot hand, Hendrickson on the score sheet, so they can come at you from a lot of different angles. I don't think Elk River really has that. They have a very young team right now. They'll evolve into that, but I thought they played pretty responsibly during that period, but again, it's the Irish up 3-0.
So after 2 periods, Connor Kennefic scores a pair. Owen Hendrickson adds a third. And the Rosemount Irish leading Elk River 3-0 after 2 periods. We're going to take about a 10-minute break, come back with more coverage. You're watching Tradition in the Park, presented by Tradition Companies.
You know, the difference maker is just the, the personal interest level we take, where it's just more than a job. We really feel, passion for serving the clients and really taking care of them. I think the loan officer group we have, it's not about the money, it's about the satisfaction when you're sitting at the closing table with the clients and you've done a good job for them and they're happy, and you see the joy that you bring their families. Helping be a guide for someone when they're going through what quite typically is the largest single investment someone's going to make in their life, their home. For that trust they place in us, it's really satisfying to be able to provide that service. And I think that there's a little bit of a oversimplification of what the mortgage process is really all about, and certainly the ability to close a transaction quickly and with the least amount of brain damage involved, I can appreciate, but there's a tremendous amount of thought that needs to go into the selection of the product itself, and then to be able to sit down with a experienced professional is extremely important to make sure you're making the right choice. And once we've come to that conclusion that this does make sense and the customer does want to move forward, certainly being able to fast track it and use all the technology available to get to the closing table as fast and as efficiently as possible.
Too heavy? Try it. I got it.
Wow, this looks amazing. Can I help you make a few?
Sure.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Hi, Hi, I'm Derek. Nice to meet you. What's the ultimate dream for your business?
We have this hunger project that I give back to the kids to buy food.
How long have you had this dream?
10 years.
So you're 6 years old and you had the dream for 10 years. That's pretty good. That's someone that knows what they want to do in life.
Hockey continues on the mnhockey.tv, and we're proud to bring in the man, Chad Schumacher from Tradition Wealth Management. Chad, you and I have been at this for a couple of years now, and I've been able to watch firsthand with what your organization's been able to do, not only as a wealth management firm, but what you've done in the community, and you're very engaged in it with lots of locations. So can you give us a little bit of a history lesson of where you've been and where this has gone and where it's going?
Yeah, so Tradition Wealth Management, we started in 2003 with a couple different partners that came from large institutions with a dream, and we started in a conference room with one phone between 6 employees. And now in February on Valentine's Day, we'll be 17 years old.
I'd like to have seen what that wrestling match for that one phone looked like between those employees. That must have been something else.
It was good.
So you have locations really spread throughout the Twin Cities. Can you share those locations and strategically how you landed there?
Yep. We've been in Edina since existence, and so this is where our largest operation is. And now we've recently opened up offices in Woodbury, North Oaks, downtown St. Paul by the Tria Center, and out in Wayzata.
And then in terms of employees, what kind of coverage do you have from that respect?
I think we're up to 17 employees right now. We're still looking to grow. We're trying to hire a couple of really experienced teams to help engage with clients going forward.
You guys have been very engaged in the community throughout with lots of initiatives, which has also created some great networking opportunities for those involved. And you've had a lot of things from which to be proud of. Can you touch on some of those things that you as an organization have done?
Well, obviously it starts, we just take care of people. We deliver everything from high net worth strategies all the way to starting people from our 401ks that we work with, just with basic estate planning stuff. So we're really proud with that. We do lead with the comprehensive planning. We try not to turn over all the rocks. We realize every person's has a different set of circumstances, net worths, health issues, you name it. But we try to create a private family office for people who don't have private family offices and help them with all the investment advice that we can give them.
Well, it basically answered my next question of why are you unique, and I'm sure that's pretty much the key thing, right?
Yeah. I'd say, most people hire us. When we're managing assets for people, we're normally managing all the assets that are be able to be managed, and just take their unique set of circumstances and build it to the plan that makes sense for each client we deal with.
We have tons of people out there that watch these games for real, and they all have needs, and I'm sure they're going to want to be able to get a hold of you and your team somehow. I would highly recommend that. What's the best way to reach out to get a hold of you and your team here?
I'd say just call my number. I'd be glad to talk to you and get you in touch with the right person from the right office. My direct line is 952-563-6504.
Chad, thanks a lot. Let's get back at it. Some more hockey action coming up.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Welcome you back inside the St. Louis Park Rec Center here at the Tradition in the Park. Rosemount leading 3-0 after 2 periods. Capping a busy weekend here on MN Hockey TV. 9 more games today, although there is one change that should be made aware of. You're planning to tune into Hill Murray against St. Michael Albertville. Because of the icy weather in the Twin Cities this morning, that game was postponed to 2:30 p.m. It has been moved to the St. Louis Park Rec Center. They're going to be playing on the East Rink. We will have an automated telecast of that game. Unfortunately, we won't have an announcer available for that game. So here at the St. Louis Park Rec Center, now a 5th game added. Coming up next, we'll have Lakeville South against Maple Grove. This evening, Minnetonka will take on Benilde St. Margaret's, the surging Skippers. Benilde St. Margaret's also got a big win yesterday over Lakeville South. And capping things off tonight, Holy Family against Andover. Meanwhile, in Plymouth, still action tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, starting at 2:30. Cloquet Esco Carleton will take on Centennial. Cretin Durham Hall against Blake, and Blaine against Wayzata. That's going to be a huge matchup. We talked about Wayzata at the first intermission. 7-0-1 in their last 8 games. They take on another premier opponent in the Blaine Bengals. And also this evening, starting at 6 o'clock tonight, Breck and Edina in the Walzer Invitational Championship on the girls' side. Breck and Edina meeting in that tournament last year, won by Breck. We've also had a regular season meeting this year already, which was won by the Hornets. So 9 games today, wrapping up our busy week here at MN Hockey TV. I just want to mention one more time, though, Hill Murray and St. Michael Albertville rescheduled to 2:30. We'll have a live feed of that game. We won't have an announcer, but we will have a live broadcast of the action from the St. Louis Park Rec Center. That'll be coming up at 2:30, about an hour from now. I'm going to take another timeout, come back with a puck drop for your third period right after this. So welcome you back, getting set for the third period between Elk River and Rosemount, with the Irish leading at 3-0 after 2 periods. Along with Bart Archer, I'm Patrick Lulia and Todd Grover. The best hockey crew in the state of Minnesota for high school hockey. Executive producer Pete Wagner also lurking around somewhere.
Probably socializing, educating the masses, showing his dynamic smile. But it's weird having somebody here before the drop of the puck with a headset on. Normally it just comes when they're dropping the puck, so it's nice to have you here, Patrick. Makes me settle down a little bit.
Well, I'm glad to be with you for the first time this season. I think you and I didn't get to work together until very late last year or something, so glad we're getting it out of the way before New Year's this year.
Getting it out of the way, he says. No, I'm happy to be here with you, Patrick. In fact, there was a little sense of relief. Me and Peter are very longtime friends, very close friends, but every once in a while taking a break from your buddy is not a bad deal, so I'm happy to be here with you. And it's been a pretty good game. I was a little concerned coming into it with just the offensive wherewithal. This Irish team against Elk River was struggling to score goals. Elk River's holding up pretty good, but it's 3-0 as we talked about at the end of the period. But I think Elk River has played a really pretty solid game, and there's some good things that they can draw out of this game, but they have 17 minutes that they have to play probably their best hockey. And really, I think going forward, defense are going to have to kind of get involved, but you have to mind your defense first, and through that you might get some offense, but they just can't come down with an odd man rush because of the way that this Irish team defends. So the task in front of them is pretty daunting, but not beyond the realm of possibility. But this Rosemount Irish team, they're very methodical the way they go about their business, and they have a good goaltender that picks them up if they do have an area of vulnerability. So they have a lot of checks in the right boxes on this Irish side. But should be a good 17 minutes. Or 16:59, I guess.
They got the. I think they got the clock started a second early there.
Can't wait to get going.
Just anticipating that puck drop a little bit too quick on the trigger. That was Elk River with Michaelis back out at neutral. Nice drop pass for Shutt, but he came in offside with 16:42 to play.
Well, it was Mason Campbell. They used the blue line as a natural line of defense, knocked that puck off Michaelis' stick with his stick, so hence offsides. Nice play.
Campbell controls the face-off, and now he takes it back from Horzager. They get tied up. Now he almost collides with Brum and is taken away by the Elks. It's Johnson trying to get it to Michaelis, but it's taken away by Sabo. Sabo behind the net with it. Sabo sends it cross ice toward the far side for Campbell. Campbell steering his way up the left wing side into the offensive zone. Campbell trying to sneak it under to Lewandowski, but it was out of his reach on that hard pass. Campbell with a shot from just inside the blue line, and that'll be held on to by Kogel with 16:09 to play.
Well, that puck was hopping on him a little bit. He looked up and saw Lewandowski bearing down on him, so very responsible play by the goaltender. 51 seconds in, good time for a line change as well. But offensive zone faceoff, it's the youngster, Charlie Strammel, played a really good tournament so far.
Strammel able to get the face-off one. Ratzlaff was initially able to hold the zone. Now the Elks get it back out to neutral. Here's Ratzlaff with it on the near side as he flips it in deep to the Elk River zone. Back to pick it up behind his own net is Kotzian. Kotzian trying to play it around. Ratzlaff able to hold again. His shot went off of the defender Stroh right next to the net. Ratzlaff again with it. Ratzlaff rips a shot off the glass wide of the net. That was a laser there, Bart.
Indeed it was. He got a heavy shot.
Rosemount again able to control the zone. There's Ratzlaff on the near side. Ratzlaff trying to slide this one under to Hendrickson, but it was tipped away from behind by Casey. Going to come over to Stroh on the near side as he now battles with Ratzlaff. It's played up the near side. 2-on-1 for Elk River if they hurry. Here's Casey with it. Casey's feed, though, was blocked by Wheeler, and Wheeler able to swat it down to the near side. Great play there by Wheeler to just stay with the puck and make sure that pass never got through.
Played a textbook.
As Elk River able to hold the zone, here's Wheeler on the end boards with it for Rosemount. He'll flip it off the glass. As Grenier can't quite knock it down initially as he controls it now, carries it back into his own zone. 2 minutes gone by here in the final period. 3-0 Rosemount. A pair of goals from Connor Kenefick and one from Owen Hendrickson all coming in the second period that put the Irish ahead 3-0. As it'll be played in deep by Frankie. As it'll get by Tollefson. He tried to slow it down, and the Irish able to punch it back out to neutral. Played over in the direction of Grenier. Grenier will get it into the neutral zone. where it's played in deep by Joe Nordstrom and intercepted out front of the Irish net. And carried up the right wing side with speed by Campbell. Campbell into the offensive zone where he got knocked off the puck as he started to try to make a move toward the net. The Elks pick it up deep in their own end. Played over toward the near side as one bounces off ahead of Kotzian. Played back into the corner. It's Frankie getting tied, that's Skyberg getting tied up. It's played along the end boards up into the far side corner where Skyberg picks it up. Skyberg's pass well out of the reach of Schutt. It'll be Michaelis, though, able to pick it up, and then the centering feed just sneaked through as he tried to get it in front to Schutt. And the Irish able to get it back out to neutral with 13:45 to play here in regulation. Here's Michaelis back with it. Michaelis will work his way around Campbell. Michaelis surveying as he tried to center it out front for Johnson, but it was off a stick. Elk River now having to carry it back out into the neutral zone as Michaelis was trying to skirt that blue line to play it cross ice for Stroh. Stroh being driven behind his own net, was taken away by Brum. Centering feed. Oh, what a save on the shot out front by Kotzian. Sabo got that centering feed cleanly, but a great job to just stay with that one by Koziel. And there's a shot that'll be held onto with the glove this time. So a lot happening on that sequence, Bart, but a really good save there by Koziel.
Well, he's made a couple of them today, hasn't he, Patrick? But pretty good pressure by Elk River, turning the play up. But it's, again, the Irish that come back down and put some good pressure on. But pretty good flow in this period. 13:09 left in this third period, but a pretty good flow so far.
Skyberg plays it around toward the far side. Stretch pass, able to be gathered in by Humphrey. A nice job to stretch out and pull that one in. He plays it in deep to the Rosemount zone. 4 minutes gone here in the third period. 3-0 Irish leading. As Greniak on the far side trying to push this one through Hendrickson. The Elks come out with it. There's a shot that got through, and that was saved by Tollefson. Skyberg back with it on the near side. Skyberg gets it taken away and sent cross ice by Strammel. Into the offensive zone comes Rosemount. Drop pass trying to get it to Kennefic was out of his reach and carried back the other direction by Humphrey as Humphrey got twirled around at the blue line, and Rosemount takes it back in their own end. There's Kennefic with it. Kennefic starts his way back up ice. Kennefic into the offensive zone. Kennefic loses the puck as it squirts through, trying to get around the defenders, and it's covered up by Kojiel with 12:19 to go.
Well, it was Kennefic that actually had some good speed, gained the zone, and tried to cut in tight, but it was Skyberg that kind of paced with him, closed the gap, but he did direct the puck onto the net. But Kennefic looking for perhaps the hat trick, but playing under the team concept, so you have to like that. But Elk River showing some good energy. They came to play. They're going to finish this game with some energy, and that's what you look for, a lot of character on this team.
As Horzager able to play it in deep to the Elk River zone. Over to cut it off is Weismiller. Weismiller trying to slow it down in the corner. As a hit put on Grassel on the near side. The puck pops free, able to be held by Campbell, but the centering feed intercepted out front. Then flipped along by Skyberg as it's knocked down. That's Stroh again, my apologies. Here's Campbell with it at the St. Louis Park logo. There's a shot, and that's saved by Kojo, and have a penalty coming here.
And I don't know if it's going to be Stroh, but he's looking at Stroh. I don't know what the penalty is going to be. It happened in front of the net. There was a little bit of traffic going on, but pretty aggressive pinch by Mason Campbell, the senior defenseman for this Irish team. They're up by 3, but it is going to be Stroh that's going to go. Putting Elk River
coincidental minors.
Oh, good. Coincidentals. And that's going to be Beatty for the Irish. So it's still going to be 5-on-5. The only trouble that I have with these coincidentals is with the pace of play. You know, it's going to be 2 minutes for sure, but it's 2 minutes and then the next whistle. In the way that this period has started, it might be 2, 3, 4 minutes before they get out of the box. But we're still 5-on-5. But if Elk River's going to pinch, they have to do it intelligently, and if they're going to leave a forward back on the defense, they have to have a better two-direction team. That's one thing that I noticed on that last sequence for Elk River.
Greniak able to intercept. He sends it out of the reach of Schutt down into the Rosemount zone. That was Zach Beatty who took the other penalty for the coincidental minors. As Elk River controls in the Rosemount zone. A great job here, though, by Lewandowski on defense as they're able to get it out to neutral ice into the offensive zone. There's a shot over the top of the net by Wheeler from just inside the blue line.
Well, and Wheeler's a defenseman, and he looked like he was pretty offensive, so it looks like high sticking penalties is what's going to be called, but that one up and out of play initiated by Elk River, so face off to Kozel's left. But the defense of this Rosemount team, if they can start getting in the offensive play, it changes the dynamic of how you defend, makes the challenge even a little bit more difficult.
Michael was able to win the face-off, his shot with it. And one thing, certainly, Michaelis has been really good in the face-off circle today, Bart.
Yeah, indeed he has. And the best way to defend against the Irish is to keep the puck off their stick, but you're right, he's been spearheading this Elk River attack. Sometimes it's 1-on-2 through the neutral zone, but he's pushing the play forward and really working very hard out there, so good of you to notice that. But that's Elk River has had success in the face-off dots. They're going to get a good opportunity in the offensive zone on this play.
Stramel will take the face-off against Casey with 11 minutes exactly remaining in regulation. Elk River again wins the face-off, but it'll be controlled by Horzager. Horzager sends it over toward Kennefick on the near side, but he can't get it by Kotzian, who plays it back the other way. Kotzian now back out at neutral with it. He'll bank it off the far side boards where Friddle dumps it into the Rosemount zone. Irish trying to control it on the near side in the circle in front of their net as Liebert plays it toward the far side. It's played back to Liebert now on the near side. It's kicked and then taken back by Elk River. That's a shot that's saved by Tollefson. Rebound claimed by the Irish. But again, they're not able to clear. We're kind of seeing now Elk River doing a good job, able to hold the zone, not let Rosemount get out, but now the Irish are able to get at the length of the ice, but will go back into the Rosemount zone.
Well, you are correct, Patrick. Spacing is a little bit better on Elk River, so they're really limiting the options of the Irish coming out of their zone and actually kind of shut down the zone and kept the puck in. Shallow angle shot by Johnson on that one, but again, it was an easy save by Tollefson, but again, they're getting the shots, albeit shallow angle. They're doing some good things right now. They just have to find that, solve that riddle on how to beat the goaltender and get that zero off the scoreboard.
This time, Sabo able to win the face-off against Michaelis as the Irish will send it the length for another icing, so we'll carry it right back into the Rosemount zone with 10:06 to go.
Well, that was actually a design play. They had Lewandowski streaking up the right side, just not a great angle on that bank pass, so hence all the way down. Face-off is now going to be to Tollefson's left, but you have to like the idea they're trying to soften up the defense and pull them off the blue line for Elk River. It's one way to do it.
Taken away out front, and Michaelis just couldn't get the puck on the turnaround shot to squeeze it past the stick side of Tollefson. The play continues up in the far side corner with 9:51 remaining in regulation. The Irish come out with the puck. We pass down toward Campbell on the near side. Campbell into the offensive zone. He drops it behind him. It's intercepted by Michaelis. Michaelis back into the offensive zone as he slows it down with Ratzlaff in front of him. He'll take a shot around Ratzlaff. That was saved by Tollefson anyway.
Pretty good save.
A pretty good shot and a good save. As Campbell back into the offensive zone. Campbell reversing as he tries a backhand centering feed, and that'll be sent up toward the far side boards. Able to be cleared out by Johnson, icing waved off. As Ratzlaff back to pick it up in his own zone. 9:15 remaining in the game. Ratzlaff trying the right wing side. Humphrey able to take it away from him, but it's able to be taken back by Olenschlager Van Kaller. It's Rosemount being driven back into their own end once again. Some really good pressure here, Bart. The Elks really doing well in this period, keeping it in the left two-thirds of the picture, the way that the Elks are traveling, as this one sent the length of the ice, and we'll bring it back into the Rosemount zone.
Well, and if you're Coach Ben Guslin, you have to like what you're seeing so far, but the longer that they can sustain this level of play, the more confidence they're going to get. But you just can't bite off more than you can chew, so to speak, but they're doing a good job of cutting the ice off in half and supporting and getting into the right areas. It was Ratzlaff that came up with some speed, but he ran into, I think, 2 or 3 Elk River, and they stopped the play and turned it back up. If they can keep doing that, they might get some opportunities. But time is of the essence now. Under 8 or 9 minutes to go in this third period. They got to get on the board.
Kotzon's shot was blocked, and then another shot by the defenseman is blocked as the Irish get it back out to neutral ice. They were trying to get it under control and sent in deep by Forshear, but the Elks send it back out to the red line where Ratzlaff picks it up. Ratzlaff, though, has 3 Elks in front of him. Boy, it sure looks like there are about 7 or 8 Elks the way that this game is going. If there's a shot and that's saved with the glove, Humphrey with a good opportunity there.
Well, Humphrey with another good look on that one. He was all alone, right or left circle, just let one go about 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ice glove side. So pretty challenging save for the goaltender, but Tollefson made that one look relatively easy. But Humphrey's the guy that they want taking those shots in those areas. So another good look by Elk River.
As Greniak wound up for a shot that was blocked. I think it hit his own teammate first. That was Justin Anderson out front. 8:10 to go in regulation, 3-0 Rosemount. The Irish break it back out through neutral ice into the offensive zone as they just sneak this one past Strammel, trying to get it to him in front of the goaltender Kogiel. We're going to 8 minutes to play. The Irish were again possessing it. Here's Strammel with it. Strammel trying to center, but it's knocked down by Anderson. Anderson has to drop it behind him as Greniak will be able to flip it out toward neutral ice where Horzager gains control. They catch the Elks on a line change. Horzager driving it in deep, trying to drive toward the net, but it was taken away by Michaelis out front. And the favor returned by the Irish, but a great job by Greniak to gain puck possession, although then he sends the puck into the neutral zone inadvertently. There's Blake Johnson. Johnson trying to drive past Strammel. Strammel, though, able to stay with him, keep the puck off of his stick. Played up onto the far side boards. Hendrickson will flip it out to neutral ice. Is back to pick it up is Kotzian in his own end with 7:10 to play. Kotzian stretch pass will go out of reach of Michaelis. Icing waved off. Is Brady Johnston back to pick it up deep in his own end for the Irish. He'll play it around the net, back over toward the far side. They got to head toward Lewandowski, who just chips it back toward Campbell. We'll play it back toward Johnston. Johnston back to Campbell now. As Campbell starts his way up ice. Campbell will flip it in deep from the red line. 6:43 remaining in the game. It'll be played up the far side boards and then into the neutral zone. Here's Humphrey. Humphrey's going to get into the offensive zone. Humphrey to the forehand, and what a great save again by the goaltender Tollefson. As the puck loose in the slot. It's still being kicked around, and it's taken back by Friddle. There's a shot that was saved by Tollefson. Another shot will go wide of the net. He could have dropped that one off to Michaelis on that attempt as well. Elk River with a great chance, but Tollefson just a great save once again.
Well, if you're coming in all out, it's really hard to give up the puck. I thought he put a pretty good move. I thought he got in a little bit deeper perhaps than he wanted, but a nice job by the goaltender to track along with Humphrey, but really great pressure by Elk River. I love the way that they're taking angles. They're proper spacing, so they're really limiting the options of the Irish to get out of their zone with possession. They're doing a great job of cutting the zone off and turning it back up. But Humphrey with a couple good chances, but just 6:02 to go. If they can keep getting chances, they still just have to get that first one, Patrick. That's the challenge in front of them, but at least they're getting the opportunities. So I like the way Elk River showed up in this third period.
Casey will take the face-off for Elk River as Wheeler controls for the Irish as he sends it cross ice for Weismiller. Weismiller carries it into the offensive zone, trying to work around Kotzian. Centering feed sneaks into the slot. Casey gets it back out to neutral ice, and a penalty coming here against Rosemount as Wheeler touches up in his own end.
And Koziel doing a little maintenance on his pad, so he didn't even bother skating to the bench for the extra attacker. But it is going to be the Irish, going to be a man down, 5:44. Still plenty of time. Everything would have to kind of align properly for this to for Elk River to come back and tie this game up. But a great opportunity right now to at least get the first one. Once they get the first one, it's kind of go from there. But they have all their big boppers out there, so obviously Coach Gustafson knows the levity or the gravity of the situation.
Beatty for slashing. There's a shot that'll go just wide of the net in front of the goaltender Tollefson. We played back into the other far side corner. There's only one far side corner, excuse me.
You picked it, though.
There's a shot over the net by Greniak. Greniak back with it at the blue line as he sends it over to Casey on the near side. Oh, just whiffing on the tic-tac-toe with Humphrey. Humphrey was winding up for the one-timer as it's carried back the other direction by Strammel. Strammel into the offensive zone. He works around Greniak, and another good save by Kogiel with 5:04 to go, with the net got knocked off.
Well, strong legs from the youngster coming and driving to the net, knocked it off its moorings. But you have to like that, and that was shorthanded too. So being out in that situation, obviously you have the confidence of Coach Sandy to be out there in this situation. But the faceoff is outside the zone, so it's initiated by the Irish. And it looks like Coach Sandy's going to call a timeout just to regroup a little bit. Kind of a pivotal point for Rosemount. Not that there's any threat. I mean, they're up by 3 goals with 5:04 left, but I think coach, and I'm not trying to put the coach's hat on, obviously he's far smarter than I am, but just make sure you finish this game the right way. It's Elk River giving really everything that they've got, and they've withstood, as well as Elk River's played offensively in this period. Rosemount still has that 0 on the scoreboard, so they're being defensively solid, and when they do have a breakdown, it's Tollefson that's picked him up, so he's really kind of turned into sneaky good performance today. Not unusual for that goaltender, but I just think that they just want to regroup and get everybody focusing on the same page moving forward.
Kennefic scored a pair in that second period, and Owen Hendrickson had the first goal of the game. All three of those tallies coming in the middle frame. 5:04 remaining in regulation. At Elk River, I know we keep kind of going back to this, but we talked about the overall record wasn't great. They played some really, really good teams, and they've looked good. Like this, the score doesn't show it, but you go below the score, and they played a good game.
Well, you have to think about it, and throwing the records out. But during that holiday tournament, they didn't have a great showing. They were competitive. They played the right way and everything, but they didn't have great success. But they never quit. They kept moving forward. They're playing for their coach. They're playing for their fellow mates, and it shows character and resolve. And that's one thing, you can't really have a successful team without those qualities. So, it's going to be a process moving forward, but this is a team that can do a lot of good things, and they're proving it to themselves today, and they're going to have confidence moving forward, I'm sure, Patrick.
As Greniak slowing it down, gets it over to Michaelis at the left point, trying to get it back to Casey, but the pass a little bit off target as it'll be played around the net. Humphrey up in the corner. He's able to get it back to Michaelis. Now Greniak with it. He sends it over to Casey. Casey trying to slide it underneath, and that one was knocked away as the sticks of Humphrey and Wheeler met at about the same time. And then Humphrey, another shot saved by Tollefson that comes down into the corner.
He's getting some chances in this third period.
He sure is. He's had a great third period. It's Humphrey with it again. Humphrey with a shot saved Tollefson and cleared the length of the ice off the rebound by the Irish.
Boy, as good as Elk River was, Mason Wheeler was a stopper on that. He blocked a couple shots. He had a quicker stick than Humphrey, so did a lot of good things on that PK. Just 25 seconds left in the penalty to the Irish.
As Greniak is met as he crosses the blue line, it's played down to the near side. Another broken stick. I feel like we've had a lot of those in this game. I think perhaps the one that was the most surprising, I think there was the one in the first period where somebody broke a stick on a wind-up for a slap shot.
That's some torque.
As the puck kicked around in the slot, and it's cleared as the power play comes to an end. Rosemount back at full strength with 3:41 remaining in the game. As Humphrey collides with Campbell. Humphrey with a shot over the top of the net, and Humphrey's great third period continuing. There's a shot that's saved by Tollefson off the stick of Schutt. It's played back toward the blue line, and back the other direction is Kennefic. Kennefic across the blue line, trying to drop it off for Brum, but it's taken back by Frankie. Frankie gets it ahead toward Humphrey, but it's poked back by Ratzlaff. Here's Skyberg with it. Skyberg being harassed by Kennefic. It'll be taken back the other way by Kotzin. Kotzin will carry it into the offensive zone as he tries to work his way around Wheeler. Now behind the net as Wheeler shoves one of the Elk River players into the boards. That was Friddle. Back the other direction. Into the neutral zone comes the puck. 2:49 remaining here in regulation. Through Strammel fighting through Johnson. Kick back to the blue line. He gets it back to Ratzlaff with a shot that's saved by, I always confuse Kozel and Kotzin because the names sound the same.
Trust me, if anybody understands those challenges, it would be me. But it was a nice job by Charlie Strammel to gain the zone and then drew the defenders in and then dished it off to Ratzlaff and then over to the other point for a pretty good shot on goal. But Strammel really plays a nice, quiet, calm, mature game for such a youngster. Been very effective during this tournament. Good things to come from that young man.
2:35 remaining in regulation. Stretch pass ahead into the offensive zone for Schutt. Schutt can't work his way around Horzager, who will get it back out to neutral ice, where it's knocked down by Johnson. Johnson will try to flip it into the Rosemount zone, but it was knocked down nicely on the left wing side by Campbell and cleared as the Elks get it back in deep. Humphrey will collect it on the near side. Humphrey trying to work around Campbell. Campbell, though, was able to take it away from him, play it around the net toward the far side, where Michaelis plays it back in the direction of Humphrey. As Humphrey plays it back through toward Greniak. Greniak able to get it around the defenseman as we're going to get a couple of masks tied up. Boy, that's kind of like, you know, in football, the guys with the helmets get
interlocked, and but they have them separated now. It's good that they're good guys and they get along. But it was Greniak, and it was also Beatty that was locked up. I was wondering what was going on. I thought they were jawing back and forth, but they didn't have much of a choice. But we reset just 1:55, 5 seconds under 2 minutes to go in regulation time. Elk River's challenge right now is to get that 0 off the scoreboard.
Wheeler from the corner will get it over to Sabo. Sabo trying to get it along for Ratzlaff. Elk River, though, again showing some really good zone presence like they have all third period long. They're able to collect it at neutral ice.
Well, they're winning some battles along the wall.
Empty net for Elk River, 6 on 3 with 6 on 5, 3-0. Rosemount leading it here. Lewandowski will clear it back out to neutral. Casey will dump it back behind him for Grenick. Grenick back to Casey, who sets up on the St. Louis Park Oriole logo. As this pass, I think, went off a skate initially, collected by Michaelis. Casey up the left wing will pling it in deep with 1:10 to go in the game. 3-0 Rosemount leading it as it's played back out to neutral as we get a whistle. I think it contacted somebody in the Rosemount bench, and we'll have a face-off deep in the Irish end.
Yeah, all the gloves, everybody standing on the Rosemount bench, anticipating going and congratulating their goaltender, but hit a glove, so it's going to come all the way down. So just 1:04 remaining in this game. But I like, again, the way Elk River's played this third period, but as well as they played, look at the scoreboard. Rosemount Irish are playing sound defensively. Yes, Elk River's getting some chances, but Rosemount's still putting a donut on the scoreboard.
We flipped out through neutral ice. Sabo will play it in deep. Played around the net from behind. Hendrickson played it in deep as it played back out to neutral. Campbell there to intercept it. He backhands it past Hendrickson to the blue line. To intercept a turnaround shot toward the empty net goes wide from Kennefick as he was looking for the hat trick. Kennefick with a pair of goals. 35 seconds to go in the game. They're shut back into the offensive zone. Gets around Hendrickson. Shot, it's loose in front and just putting the backhand off the outside post. Working his way back through neutral, here's Strammel. Strammel will float this one into the Elk River zone where it's intercepted almost immediately inside the blue line. 15 seconds to go in the game. Shutt getting tied up at the blue line. Shutt with a shot, and that's covered up with 9.4 to go by Tollefson.
Well, I think that one surprised him. It was Shutt that took a shot just inside the blue. Quick release, but I think it kind of fooled Tollefson a little bit. More of a positional save. He took it in the left shoulder, and then the puck kind of tried to squirt up a little bit, but he covered it quickly. Just 10 seconds to go. But you can tell Elk River's going to play to the whistle. But again, Rosemount, get the puck to Kennefick so he can get that hattie, huh?
Off the face-off, it's played down to the near side corner. 5 seconds now to go in the game. As it squirts free up the near side boards, and the game comes to an end. Rosemount scores all 3 of their goals in the third period, withstanding a tough challenge from, second period. And they withstand a tough challenge from a really scrappy, tough Elk River team.
Well, you look at the Rosemount team, and congratulations, Will Tollefson getting his 3rd shutout of the year, and he earned it today. Kind of a team effort, but obviously the goaltender is going to get credit for it, deservedly so. But it just, Rosemount didn't get too big for the situation. They didn't lose their structure. A lot of times if you score 3 goals in a period, everybody wants to get on the score sheet and you kind of lose a little structure. And that's a compliment to Coach Sainty to just keep them focused, keep them on par, and they played their game. They defended very, very well. Elk River's a good team. I mean, they have players that can play top to bottom on this roster. But just so much talent on this Rosemount team. But Rosemount did what they had to do to win. Elk River had a good showing. I'm sure Coach Gustafson has some things he'd like to address with his team, but overall, a pretty good showing in the final game of this tournament for the Elks.
Obviously didn't get on the scoreboard, but Austin Humphrey really had an awesome third period for Elk River, just constantly in the offensive zone with shots and chances.
Well, in the way that I look at it is, yes, Humphrey got his chances, but it wasn't him all alone. I mean, he did create a couple good chances, but he's got some line mates that did a lot of dirty work to get him those pucks in that proper area. And Humphrey's the guy that they want because he can finish on this team. He's got a very heavy shot, plus he knows how to finish. But again, and Michaelis had a good period. I mean, there's a number of Greniak started to, kind of skate up in the zone. So there's a lot of pieces in place for this Elk River team. They just need a little bit more success, and that all starts with being able to put the puck in the net with some regularity. This is a team that's averaged about 2 goals a game through the season. Very hard to win against the competition that they're playing, averaging 2 goals a game, but they played solid defensively for 2 periods. They could be argument for being the better team in those 2 periods, but obviously Rosemount flexed their offensive muscles in that second, and that was the difference in the game.
So just to wrap it up here, Connor Kennefick scored a pair, and Rosemount defeats Elk River 3-0 to close out their play here at the Tradition in the Park. Still got a lot of action to come today. Coming up about 2:30, we'll have a big matchup between Maple Grove and Lakeville South, 2 teams looking to rebound from tough losses yesterday for different reasons.
Minnetonka won yesterday, man.
Minnetonka won yesterday.
It was a big game for them, too.
A huge win. We'll see them later on tonight as well. So stay tuned for more coverage from Tradition in the Park all afternoon. Next game slated to start about 2:30, but just to be on hand in case it starts a little earlier than that, as can be want to happen once in a while. So we'll have that stream online roughly around 2:30, but just be ready before then. Until then, signing off. We will be back shortly.